Well, in this session we're going to be modelling the front fuselage machine gun recesses. Okay, let's get cracking. I'm going to pop up to Edit and select the Swift Loop. Just going to put it in there, give us a division between our recesses and that section back there. Let's just move forward. Do I need to add one in there? Maybe about there. Okay, now I need to pop down into and select polygons, zoom out a little bit, deselect anything else, up to our select. Make sure ignore back facing is selected. Now let's select those, bring them down, and we'll select those sections there. Press Control, and let's just get those there as well. Now we can detach. We'll call this M gun recess. So M underscore gun underscore recess. We'll detach it as a clone and say OK. Now we can pop up to our root, into our layers manager, and pop into the fuselage. There's our machine gun recess there. We just want to hide our fuselage. Okay, now let's pop into perspective. Let's zoom around a little bit. Just select that. In fact, I think what we'll do is go Alt X so we can see it. Now the first thing we're going to be doing is applying a turbo smooth. Let's give it 1, 2, 3 iterations, and then what we're going to do is convert it to an editable poly. Now back up to our modifier list, popping down, and I'm going to go for an FFD box. Let's put a box on there. What we want to do is set a number of points. In the first one, I want that set to 3. The width, I want 6. Try 6. Okay, if it doesn't do that, let's type it in. And the height, I'm going to say 11. I'm going to say OK for that. Now, if you're not familiar with freeform deformers, I have uploaded an introductory video which goes some way towards explaining what they are and, well, basically just how useful they are. Okay, well, now that we've got this sorted out, I need to be popping into the front viewport, and let's go Z for zoom, and now I can pop into our freeform, just left click, and we're going to select control points. Now here we have our points. We set it at 3 by 6 by 11, and there's our reminder there. So that's 3 sets of points, 1, 2, 3 by 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 11 along the length. So what I want to do is select these here, and this is going to select all those points along the length. So now I need to come into the top viewport, so that's T on the keyboard, Z to zoom in, and I'm going to press Alt because I want to deselect the 2 sections at the front and the 2 sections at the rear. With that, I'm now going to zoom in. Now I want to select the rotate tool, make sure the angle snap is off, and just rotate this 1.8. Now I'm going to deselect and pop back into the front viewport. Z for zoom. Now can see that those points are offset along there. So select these points now next to it, pop into our top viewport again, Z to zoom, select our select tool and deselect again the 2 rows of points there and the 2 rows of points at the back. Now we can zoom in again, and with our rotate tool we want to be rotating now to the left, so let's try that 1.8. 1.75 will do. Let's now pop back into the front viewport, F on the keyboard, Z to zoom in. What I'm going to do is select all these now, so that's dragging them across, popping back into the top viewport, go Z to zoom in, and I'm going to press Alt to deselect the 2 sections, the 2 sets of rows at the front and the 2 rows at the back. Now I actually dragged this out all the way just to make sure that I have got all of the points, even though it may only be a 1 column along there. It's just a habit I've got and it served me well. Right, so we have those selected now. It's this section down here and this section down here. I'm now going to pop in to the perspective viewport. Let's rotate around a bit so we can see. W for our select and move tool. Now what we need to do is actually grab this and push down, and what we're doing is deforming that area. If you can see that, and because we angled these points, it's wider at the back, thinner at the front, we're getting that shape. So if I just do a quick render, you can see what I mean. There we go. So what we're doing is getting that roundness in there to begin with. Now as we've pushed this down, what's happened is that it's raised up this section here. Now we can get rid of that by popping down here, and in continuity, if we zero that, it straightens that out, or when it comes to the time when we place it back within the fuselage, then these edges remain the same, even though we can modify this a little bit here. Okay, let's rotate around a little bit. Now what I want to do is those that we've selected and depressed, I just want to rotate them. So rotate, and I want to angle them so that it's deeper at the back and slightly inclined here at the front. So this is raised up and that has sunk down. Let's have a look. We'll do another quick render. There we go. That's not too bad. Okay, now that that's more or less completed on that, let's just try another render at that angle. So that's the shape that we're going for. Well, at least this is the first part anyway. Now it's like that. What we can do is collapse this now to an editable poly. There we go. Let's now pop into our left viewport, Z to zoom. I'm going into create, and this time I'm looking for extended primitives. What I want is capsule. Okay, so let's place this, well, roughly somewhere there. Let's drag it out about so much, and then I'm going to push back to give it some depth. Left click to end the action. Let's look at our sides. I'm going to make it 20 to begin with, and let's rotate. Let's rotate it that way. In fact, I'm going to undo that and now put angle snap back on. Let's rotate it 90 degrees. There we go. Put it into the modifier. Let's increase the height. Roughly about there. And pull this back a little bit there. We convert it now to an editable poly. Now that that's converted, I'm actually going to apply another FFD modifier. This time a 2B2B2. Let's pop in, go to control points, and this time I'm going to select all those control points on the end there. Now select our scale tool, which is R on the keyboard, selecting in the center there, and I'm just going to scale that down like so. That's fine. W for our select and move. Let's just pull that out a little bit more that way. And now we can right click and collapse it to, or convert to, an editable poly. Okay, well, mindful of the time, we'll call that it for this session, and I'll catch you later.